Hi, I'm Mark from L&M Small Engine. Today we're working on a Bilt Storm 2625 snowblower. It has a 243cc engine on it. They don't want to start and run, so we'll check it out, see if we can't get it running. I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, we gotta take a lot of shrouding off just till we get to the carburetor. The carburetor's under here. We're gonna take all this stuff off. It looks like it's 10 millimeter, and then it looks like a 12 millimeter on top. We got one in front here. And we got one back here. Not as simple as the mold Tecumsehs and stuff like that around these snowblowers, these newer motors. Make it a lot more complicated to get to the carburetor and stuff. Must have a bolt hidden somewhere else. Check around the front here. Yeah, kind of crazy here, but we gotta take that cover off that has this cover here that protects the belts. There's a bolt, there's a bracket that comes down there, there's a bolt back here, so we have to take this off. So we get to that front bolt. So I'll get an extension. Looks like them are 10 millimeter bolts also. But we'll get it off eventually. And there'll be one on the other side too. There's usually two bolts that hold that cover on over the belts. So we gotta take these two bolts off on top for this here, and there's the shroud comes behind there. That's just crazy, all that work you have to do. Okay, I got all that stuff loosened up over there now. We're gonna pry that choke and run piece off. There's stuff holding this on all over the place. Looks like on the back side we have to take the push button start thing off to get to a bolt back on that side over there. So I'll go on the other side and loosen that push button start off. So this cover here goes all the way across, and there's a bolt back under that starter button. All this work just to get to a carburetor, just crazy. There we go. Wow. Well, I got about all this stuff loosened up. Looks like I got to pry that throttle lever off. Half this stuff is plastic, so you gotta be really careful. So you don't break nothing. There we go. All that work. Now we got a bunch of wires we have to contend with. Let's see if we can't get this off to the side here. Gotta take that primer hose off the carburetor. There we go. Wow. All that work just to get to that thing right there. Okay. I'm gonna take this linkage off the choke here, so gotta remember how all this went together. I'm gonna take this gasket off. You gotta see in there's a bunch of gunk inside the carburetor, so I'm sure it's full of junk. So I'm gonna unhook the fuel line over here and let the gas run in a cup. So I'm sure that gas probably is not fresh. This gas nowadays, this don't last very long. You use it, and you have the gas sitting there, and you forget about it, then you want to use it again, and don't want to run. Take this clamp up the hose here. Like glued onto that. Might just have to replace a fuel line. I don't know. It's kind of cracked on the end. Maybe we can just cut a little bit of the end off when we put it back together. There we go. Oh, you can smell that gas, all right. While it's doing that, we'll unhook the governor linkage and spring off there. Unhook that spring and there we go. Okay, I'm gonna get the outside of the carburetor cleaned up, and we'll go ahead and tear it apart. Okay, I kind of cleaned the outside of the carburetor off. This bottom bolt on this is a 10 millimeter. Oh geez, that's why some gun don't run. The float's literally frozen in there. So we're gonna have to put a complete carburetor kit, and this looks like in the main jet. It's sitting right down there, just a big chunk of black. So let me get this thing boiled out and go from there. This one's a dirty one, so we'll set it for 30 minutes, see if we can at least get the carburetor part cleaned out. We might have to replace the bowl, but we'll see how it does. So we'll let this boil for 30 minutes and we'll see how it goes. Okay, we just got out of the boiler and it actually turned out a lot better than I did. It's still kind of stained, but it's nice and clean now. Got it all nice and cleaned up. And when you put these together, even if you don't boil them out, you just got to make sure that main jet is clear and just stick your carburetor cleaner straw in there and squirt in there and make sure it comes out that center nozzle right there. But I'm gonna put a new needle in there. So make sure that spring is on there. You just press it up in there, just like that. So the spring's on the underside. So I'll go ahead and stick that in there. and line up the float. And there you go, at least it moves now. And this drain plug right here, if you kind of put it opposite of that and kind of turn it so it's forward, so it's kind of in the open a little bit, if you want to drain your gas for the end of the snow blowing season or whatever, you get all the gas out of there. Or you can just loosen this bottom nut, don't take it all the way out, just loosen that bottom nut up and let the gas drain out of there. There we go. Now we're ready to put that carburetor back on the 243cc engine. So I guess before we do that, I drained the gas out. I like to blow out the tank on these. Make sure you get all the gas out of there. There's a little bit of gas in the bottom of the tank. You don't want to mix it. So this is what I do. There's other ways to do it, but grab your air hose. And make sure you get a rag or a towel or something, because when you stick this in there, you don't want gas flying all over and into your eyes and your face and everything. So kind of cover the hole. And you can see the excess gas is coming out of the fuel line there. Man, that stuff stinks. Because you want fresh gas in there when you do all this work to the carburetor, and you don't want to have old gas in there and stuff. I'll just leave that loose because I'd put some new gas in there when we're all done anyway. So we'll grab our carburetor. Make sure you got your gasket on. And we'll install our governor linkage into that slot there. Then we'll grab our governor spring and put it in that little hole on the side. And go ahead and push it in. Get our fuel line put on there all the way. I got these wires right here. Make sure they're out of the way so it slides all the way in there. Grab our fuel line clamp. Make sure everything's working good. Now for our choke. Get that put in there. Put our other gasket on. Make sure that little indentation goes in. That hole right there. I guess there's one on this side here, so. Let me get this linkage put on. Make sure you don't tear that gasket. Like that. Now we can grab that cover. I'll put it back on close up here. Now this is going to be a pain in the butt because we got all these wires and everything. We got to hook this up to the valve cover. And this goes right here. That's for your primer. So I'll try doing this without being in the way of the camera, but it's going to be a pain in the butt. When you do this part, just take your time, make sure you get everything all hooked up and everything. We'll grab our primer hose and put it on the carburetor. And this goes through that little slot there. And we'll hook it on the valve cover right there. And now we're doing all this, we have to put our fast idle lever in there, then line our choke lever up all at the same time and line up our carburetor all at once. Let's see what I'm doing here. Grab the flashlight here. Well, any day now, Mark. I gotta see what it's binding on something back there. Should slide right in there. That vent hose to the valve cover is binding up in here. I got that through there. Take that plug wire off. We're going to put a new plug in there anyway. Make sure it's hooked up still. And this top cover like that. Finish putting that. And grab our clamp. Oh, they just make these so difficult, which don't even need to be difficult. There we go. Okay, now I'm just going to double check everything. Get my long screwdriver. Just make sure the throttle's working good on it. And when we put our choke lever on, there's a little slot right here, and there's like a little pin on that. Right here, that little pin goes in that slot. I'm putting all this stuff on right now. Make sure everything's not binding up before I go ahead and bolt everything back on, because if something's bounding up, then we'll have to take everything apart. So you push there's no gas in now, but you can hear it pushing through the carburetor. So that's all hooked up right. So all we gotta do now is put all the bolts in. And we got the one on the side over here. It's right between the gas tank and the shroud here. Not made for big hands like mine. Can't fit a socket in on this side. I gotta tighten all that stuff up front too. Way to loosen up this red thing that for your chute adjuster. Gotta tighten all that stuff up. So I'll do that real quick here. Okay, now we can put our belt protector cover on. While I'm over here, I gotta put that push button starter assembly back on. Okay. Apologize this is taking so long, but there's so much stuff you gotta do. Okay. Now I'm gonna change that spark plug real quick. Well, first I gotta put that cable hanger bracket back up on top here. Okay. Grab the spark plug wrench. Gotta get a longer extension. Okay, go grab a plug real quick. It had a torch plug in there, but I'm going to go ahead and put a NGK plug in there. Okay, go ahead and put our spark plug wire back on. Make sure it clicks in there. Now before we put gas in there and stuff, I'm gonna change oil on this. Because that carburetor being that bad, it's possible some gas got in the oil. So how I do it on these, there's a little drain plug right here. And what I like to do on the front of this, people have other ways of doing this and stuff. This is just, I think, is an easy way to do it. We'll just grab something that's 2 or 3 or 4 inches high. I'm just using the impact. Put it on like that so it's at an angle. That way all the oil will get out of it. Grab the oil pan. And this should be a 10 millimeter, I believe. Now see, the whole thing's turning. Whoever worked on this last over tightened that. So this shaft is actually unscrewed out of the block itself. So I'm going to put a pair of vice grips on that shaft. When you tighten these plugs, just have them tight so they don't fall off. You don't need to put 100 foot-pounds of pressure on the doggone things. This is a tight fit place here anyway. Just to break that loose, I'm going to use the impact. Just don't put it back on with the impact. This needs to be snug. It don't need to be on there so tight. And I'm going to grab a little piece of cardboard or something because it's probably going to drip down this frame right here. So let me find something. Be right back. Okay, I just grabbed a piece of cardboard here and just made it like a little V. You don't need nothing fancy, and just kind of tuck it under there. I do smell a little bit of gas in there, so it's a good thing we're doing this anyway. And loosen up your oil cap to get air going through there. I'm just going to let this drain for a while, but when you put the oil in, use a 1030. 1030 oil because you pretty much use this when it's cold out. You don't want like a 30 weight or nothing like that in there. Use a 1030 or on your own owner's manual. It will say, some might take a 530, but I think that's kind of thin. I just use 1030, but I'm gonna let this drain, then I'm gonna put 1030 in it, then we'll put gas in it to make sure it runs. So I'll see you when I get this all drained out. Okay, I put the gas in there, I put the oil in there, like I said, 1030. And these 243cc engines is almost 3/4 of a quart. So I'll put our plug-in thing in, push the primer, put the choke on. Well, there you go. Sorry it took so long, but you gotta take a lot of stuff off just to get to the carburetor. I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you like this video, others, please press like and subscribe. Anyways, have a good afternoon. Thanks for watching.